My name is Kathryn, and I'm going to be leading you for the next hour. Just a couple of things. If you haven't joined us for a Zoom yoga class before, just take the time now to make sure that your audio is off, that you're muted. And then if you want to be on screen, that's totally up to you. I think it's kind of cool to be able to look and see you guys. And if I see you, I might say something to you, right? But I totally respect too if you just want to have some privacy. If you want privacy, then just go ahead and turn off that video function. And we totally understand and respect that. In terms of class, I'll be demoing a little bit, but I'll mostly be talking because I think that it's just a bit easier for you to hear what's going on. But every now and then I will demo something. So if you're someone who's maybe a little newer to the practice, just go ahead and scroll through and find someone who's on video who maybe you're going to reference a little bit. We have some of our teachers who are practicing with us on video. So you'll definitely have a visual reference in addition to an auditory one. If you like music, go ahead and turn your music on. Again, you're on mute, so shouldn't make a difference at all. And other than that, let's just have a really good time. I'm so excited to see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of bodies who I haven't seen in a really long time all across the country. So hi to all my friends and hi to those I haven't yet met yet. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and come on into a child's pose, please. Good. So go ahead and just bring your hips down to your heels, bring your forehead to the mat. You can create a shape that feels really comfortable for you. So whether that means bringing the arms outstretched long in front, or whether that means maybe modifying your arms back by your sides. But you're looking here to create a shape that feels really comfortable, a shape that you can breathe in. And then I'll go ahead and invite you to close your eyes and just start to focus in on your breath. Start to slow down and lengthen your inhales. Easy does it on your exhales. Nothing ever to force or push. While your breath is deep, it should still be soft and pleasant. So if it feels at all like you're straining or gasping or pushing for breath, just go ahead and back off a little bit, okay? Begin to notice where you feel your breath most predominantly. And see if you can just start to spread it around. So could you breathe a little bit more into your lower back? Could you imagine the breath even going all the way down into your hips and your pelvis? Can you feel the way that your belly maybe expands towards your thighs on the inhale and recedes on the exhale? Feel also the way that your breath affects your middle back, your shoulders, even your neck. We start each class with this focus, with this quiet shape, with this breathing exercise. The idea being that we want you to stay connected to this calm, deep way of breathing throughout the entire practice. So if ever over the course of the practice, you start to feel stuck or held, the breath gets choppy or you're holding on to it, I invite you back here. You can always come back to a child's pose. If things are feeling good today though, I invite you to ride that edge. When I ask you to be mindful in your practice, that means that you're staying one step away from being totally safe and one step away from being totally reckless. Can you find that middle ground and choose to be there, breathe there? Wherever you are with your breathing, could you exhale your breath all the way, please? Fill up slow, deep, full inhale. And exhale with an HA. One more time, very, very deep breath in. And exhale, HM. And if those vibratory breaths feel really good, there'll be several more times that we'll try them together. So I encourage you to join us with them when I offer it. From here, go ahead and reach the arms out in front of you if they're not there already. And let's transition to all fours, our hands and knees. Be sure your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Your knees are separated so they're right underneath your hips. Let's start moving your spine with some cat-cows. So inhale, arch your back. Look up towards the ceiling. Lift your tailbone high. Exhale, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Scoop your belly in. Really round the whole back. Again, inhale as you look up. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Collarbones are wide open. Exhale, as your chin tucks, can you spread your shoulder blades wide on your back? Can you draw your tail under you? Once again, big inhale breath, opening up, looking up. Big exhale breath, rounding it out, looking down. And then go ahead and take a few breaths just to follow your own body. So your hips might sway a little side to side. You might circle around the shoulders, roll your head. Maybe even just close your eyes here. How intuitive could it be? How good could it feel? Excellent. Come on back to that center tabletop position, hands underneath your shoulders. With an inhale, reach your right hand up towards the ceiling, chest opens, and then exhale, thread your right arm through your left arm. Your right ear and right shoulder come all the way down to the floor, tail is lifted. From here, you might stretch your left arm out long in front of you. It might wind behind your back. It might just stay prompted on the floor. Feeling here how you're opening up the back of the shoulder blades and gently rotating through the middle back. As you inhale, come all the way back, right hand up towards the ceiling, and exhale it down. Good. Inhale, left hand high, chest is open. And then exhale, go ahead, thread left arm through your left ear and left shoulder, come all the way down to the floor. If it feels okay, you might be turning and looking towards your right shoulder as well. But if the neck doesn't like that, just keep your neck easy on the floor. Send some breath into that middle part of your back. Good. With your next inhale, unravel all the way, left hand towards the sky. And then exhale, place that left palm all the way back down to the floor. Beautiful. From here, let's curl the toes under, stretch your hips up and back. Let's take our first downward facing dog. So first time through, go ahead and just find a little bit of movement. So very roughly, the shape is an upside down V with your hips making that apex of the V, your hands and heels rooting down towards the floor. But as you work your way into it, maybe you bend your knees a few times. Maybe you sway your hips around a little bit. Maybe even nodding your head gently, yes and no, noticing perhaps all the tension that's being held in the back of the neck. Good. And then let's make that shape just a little cleaner, a little clearer. So coming back towards stillness, look towards the hands. They're about shoulders width in distance, fingers spreading open really wide. Press actively down through your whole entire hand. So plugging even your fingertips into the floor. Get heavy through your thumbs and index fingers, a little lighter through your pinky fingers. Imagine yourself actively pushing the floor away from you rather than letting yourself sink and collapse down into your hands. Feel that tug of your hips reaching up and back, like your sit bones could touch where your back wall and the ceiling meet. Feel your spine start to lengthen and flatten. If your back feels really rounded here, go ahead and bend the knees a little bit so that you can have a straight spine. In down dog, it's much more important that you have a straight spine than that you have straight legs. Straight legs will come. Heels are reaching down towards the mat. Check in. Can you still breathe? Long inhale and long exhale. Really nice, everyone. Look forward, bend your knees a lot. Let's walk to the top of the mat, hang heavy in a forward fold. Here, let the knees bend a bit. You might even feel your torso resting on your thighs. You can grab for opposite elbow and opposite hand if that feels nice, or just let your hands dangle. Feel the inhale travel up the back of your legs, and the exhale fall out the top of your head. On your inhale, let's take a half lift. Fingers can come to the floor, shin or thighs, as you lift your chest halfway. Navel drawing to spine, shoulders away from the ears. Neck is neutral, so you're looking at the floor. On an exhale, release. Once again, your forward fold. Make sure the feet are at hips width and distance, and then with your inhale, let's rise all the way tall to standing, mountain pose. As you arrive at standing, fingers are reaching towards the sky, so is the crown of the head. Shoulders are soft down the back, pelvis is neutral. If it's available here, could you let your eyes close and just feel yourself standing in space? Can you imagine your body getting bigger in every direction? So growing as much up as you're rooting down, growing as wide from side to side as you can. With your next inhale, look towards the sky, reach up, maybe reach slightly back for a back bend, and then exhale, take a swan dive all the way to your toes. Good, friends. Inhale, take your half lift again, find that neutral back. And then exhale, place 2 hands on the floor, step your feet back, and let's pause in an upper push-up position. Stack your bones well so your muscles can work more efficiently. Shoulders right on top of the wrists, hips and shoulders the same height, belly strong into spine. If you need a modification, drop your knees down to the floor. With an inhale, push the floor away. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower yourself halfway. With an inhale, tug your heart forward and up. Drop the shoulders down your back and untuck your toes for upward facing dog. Exhale, curl toes under, hips high, head heavy, downward facing dog. All together, big, big breath in. And exhale. Let's go through that a little more quickly. So bend your knees, look forward, step or maybe jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, take a half lift, long spine, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. With your next breath, inhale, reach all the way up to standing, gaze towards your hands. Go up, reach up, look back. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, meet up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or jump your feet back. Exhaling through your lower push-up position. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And exhaling downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now, one time on your own, one breath, one movement, you flow through that modified sun salutation. If you don't remember what comes next, that's okay. Keep breathing, keep moving, listen to your body, and lean into what feels good. Really nice, friends. Looks nice. If you're still flowing, keep flowing. If you're back in down dog a little before the rest of us, notice how your body is already beginning to change. Heels maybe closer to the floor, breath starting to deepen. Good. Let's together now inhale and reach the right leg up and back behind you. Take a moment and think your hips really square. So rather than how high can you lift your right leg, how long can you pull it away from your fingertips? Right big toes pointing towards the floor. Take another breath here. Now exhale, change the shape. Bend your right knee and roll open that right hip. Yeah, kind of like a dog at a fire hydrant. There you go. Feel that stretch and length across the front of the right thigh and hip flexor. Beautiful. With your inhale, stretch the right leg high up and back. With your exhale, shoulders over the wrists, right knee to your nose. Hold the belly in tight. Inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Use those obliques. Inhale, extend it up high. And exhale, right knee to left elbow. Can you look over your left shoulder? Inhale, reach it high up and back. And then exhale, step your foot all the way forward between your hands. Let the left knee come down, untuck your left toes. And then let's bring the hands to the top of the right thigh for a nice low lunge. Careful in this low lunge. The tendency is to leave your butt sticking out and a big arch in the back. Can you think instead of scooping your pelvis under and keeping your spine nice and tall? You should feel a nice warm stretch radiating through the left hip and thigh. Option to stay here in this stretch or take your left hand up towards the sky and take a little side bend over to your right side. Continuously feeling that tucking under sensation from your pelvis. Good. As we inhale, let's everyone bring two arms high up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, twist to the right. So left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Turn and look towards your right fingertips. Your spine is staying upright as you twist yourself open from bottom to top. Notice the heat we're creating, that's intentional. On your inhale, chest forward, two hands high. And then as you exhale, let's place two hands down, frame the front foot. Curl your back toes under, straighten your back knee. Now step yourself to the front of your mat, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, take your half lift, flatten out the spine. And exhale, fold heavy once again. Bring your feet to hips within distance, and on your next breath, sit low, arms high for a chair pose. Good. Feel here the alignment. Toes are pointing forward, knees are going in the same direction as the toes. As you shift your weight back towards the heels, notice how that might put a little more fire in your glutes and might help to soften your lower back. Notice your neck. We tend to either strain the neck up or hang it heavy down. Could you feel your neck as a natural extension of the rest of your spine? Now start to notice your mental challenge here. Can you start to regulate your thoughts? Can you start to be in this moment of discomfort, knowing that you're doing something so positive for yourself? Take one more breath inside of it, and just like that, it's over. Forward fold. Okay. Inhale, lift from that heart space, halfway lift. And then exhale, two hands down, step or jump back to plank, and right through your flow. Hide a little push-up, upward facing and downward facing dog. Gorgeous, friends. Let's keep moving. Inhale, float your left leg high up and back. Take a moment, square off the hips, really flex the left toes as you kick your heel to the back wall. Now exhale, change your shape. Bend the knee, roll open the hip. Maybe circle your ankle or wiggle your toes around here. Not a lot of rules in this moment. Inhale, stretch that left leg high up and back. And now exhale, shoulders over the wrist, knee to your nose. How close can you get those 2 points? Inhale, send the left toes high up and back. Exhale, left knee to your left elbow. Could they touch? Inhale, send it up and back. Exhale, left knee to your right elbow. Looking over the right shoulder intensifies things. Inhale, send it all the way up and back. And then exhale, step your left foot all the way forward between your hands. Good. Right knee will come down to the floor, and then we'll prop up, hands on the top of the left thigh. Good. Very commonly, we notice that one side feels a little different than the other side. See if you can notice the difference without having to put too much judgment on it. Perfectly lovely to stay where you are, or take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Reach first up, then start to bend over to the left-hand side. Really lovely opportunity to lengthen through those hip flexors that might be a little tight with all the sitting at our desks that most of us are doing. On an inhale, please come on upright, 2 hands towards the sky, everyone. And now exhale, twist to the left. Reach your left hand back, your right hand forward. Turn the gaze, if you can, to your left thumb. Feel the rotation coming up by your rib cage, not just your lower back. With an inhale, face forward, 2 hands nice and high. Exhale, 2 hands down. Curl your back toes under, straighten the back knee. Now step your right foot to meet your left foot. Inhale, half lift, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Feet at hips width, second time in our chair. Hips sink, arms and chest lift. Notice if you can start to shift your focus to what feels good, what feels calm, or what feels soft. And imagine spreading that a little more around your whole body. How could you enter this pose with grace and softness and acceptance? Take one more breath, sit low, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Take a moment maybe to nod your head or flutter your lips a little here. Then inhale, half lift. And exhale, place your palms down, step or walk back to plank, high to low flow. All together, full breath in. And exhale. Lovely. On your next inhale, reach the right leg up. As you exhale, step your foot between your hands. Turn the back heel down to the floor, and with an inhale, rise up, warrior one. So in this shape, we're looking to think of our shoulders and hips both square to the front edge of your mat. If you find it's very difficult to square your hips, try walking your right foot a little further over to the right-hand side, or turning your back toes on a 45-degree angle instead of being flush with the back edge of your mat. Feel that as you lift up tall through your spine, that may give you a little more room to wrap your left shoulder and rib cage forward. Arms are long, breath is calm and focused. With an inhale, sit deep into your lunge. And now as you exhale, let's open to a warrior two. So right arm is in front, left arm is in back. Right knee guiding in line with the right big toe. And I'm looking to sit my right thigh until it's parallel to the floor. The back left thigh spiraling inward. The back left knee strong and straight. With your next breath, flip the right palm to the sky. Reach your right hand up, over, and back to reverse your warrior. Here, the left hand either above or below the left knee, never putting excess pressure on the left knee. Notice that beautiful sense of length and stretch running down your whole right side body. Take one more long breath to reach back. Now exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way to the floor. Step your right foot back to plank and take a flow on your own. Let's connect to the left side. So inhale, your left leg lifts, and exhale, step the foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back heel down and now rise high to your warrior one. Yeah. And maybe as the shape is a little more familiar, you have some opportunities to clean it up, just not only visually, but also how it feels on the inside. Do you notice yourself pushing, forcing, muscling your way into the pose? Or is there a sense of ease as you sit into it? And that doesn't mean that you're not getting yourself to a place of difficulty, but there's a difference when we approach it with compassion versus a sense of needing to or having to get ourselves into a certain shape. Easy does it with your breath. Sink low, reach tall. Exhale, take your warrior two. So left arm reaching forward, right arm reaching back. Chest is nice and broad and open. If it's available, you're looking over the left fingertips. Softening through the shoulders, sinking into those hips, but lifting in the abdomen through the whole spine. Now turn your left palm to face the sky. You can reach your fingers up, over, and back for a reverse warrior. Here, can you prioritize the sense of lifting up and over rather than sinking and collapsing onto your right side? Can you stay open and expressive through the left side ribs? Take one more breath to be in it. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step back, high to low flow. Then this time when you get back to down dog, you're going to move through that whole series of movement on your own. So one breath, one movement from warrior one to warrior two and reverse warrior, right side into left side. Whether you're practicing alone or with a partner, whether you look up at the screen and see someone else moving at a different rhythm than you, that's okay. See if you can start to put just one movement on top of each breath. So the breath becomes a little longer, the movement becomes a little smoother. As always, if you need a break, child's pose is there for you. Beautiful. Wherever you are now in your breath, could you exhale all the air all the way out? Inhale, fill up, deep, deep breath. And exhale, let it fly. Gorgeous. Bend your knees, look forward. Step, or if you wish, jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, we take a half lift, flatten out the spine. And exhale, we take a forward fold. Good. On your next breath, roll yourself up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Head lifts last. Inhale, draw the shoulders up, pull them back, drop them down. Great. Feet are together at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. And now exhale, thread your right arm under your left arm, crossing at the elbows and then again at the wrists for eagle arms. If crossing at the wrists is too much, you can hold on to your thumb or just give yourself a big hug. 2 feet together, bend your knees and sit down low. Put the weight on your left leg and cross your right leg up and over for eagle wrap. Many of us will just cross the thighs. Some of us might tuck the toes behind the calf muscle, but please don't force anything in your knees. Keep the gaze focused on one point in front of you that is not moving. Squeeze your arms a little tighter, your legs a little tighter, but keep your face relaxed and soft. One more breath to sink down. Listen carefully. Exhale, come back to standing 2 feet side by side, but keep your arms as they are. We'll take this into a backward bend. So with your inhale, start to lift your elbows off your chest. Think of using your thumbs to push your nose backwards to a back bend. Really make this about the upper back, no sinking or collapsing through your lumbar spine. One more chance, elbows higher, head further back, and then release. Come up to standing, unravel your arms, 2 arms overhead. And now exhale, left elbow under your right. Cross your elbows, cross your wrists. Beautiful. Bend your knees, come on back into your chair. Weight on the right leg, left leg lifts up and over. Squeeze your thighs tight. Please don't force the tuck of your toes behind your calf. Your knees should still point forward over your toes. The weight is still in your heel. Squeeze the arms tight and pull your elbows into your chest. Lift that upper body back at the end and release it. 2 feet together, stand tall. We go right into our back bend. Use the thumbs to think of pushing your nose back, elbows up. And release. Come on upright, 2 arms over your head. Palms touch, listen carefully. Bend both your knees and sink back down into your chair. This time hands come to heart center. Puff your chest tall. Now twist to the right. Left elbow over your right knee for a seated prayer twist. In this position, you want to keep your chest lower than your heart. So most of us bring your butt a little lower, lift your chest a little higher. Push your right hand down into your left hand and lift your heart up to the height of your thumbs. Gorgeous. If you have a flyaway or a bind in your practice, you can feel free to take it now. On an inhale, come on back to center. Stay low in your hips. Lift that chest. We twist to the other side. So right elbow over your left thigh. Good. Check in. Did your seat lift? See if you can stay down low. I know the thighs are working. Keep lifting up from the heart. Fly away or bind if it's in your practice, but no need to force it. Beautiful, friends. Inhale, come on back to heart center. Lift the chest at the end. And exhale, forward fold. Separate your feet just a little. Bend the knees a couple times. Shake out your hips. And then let's, with knees bent, interlace the fingers behind your back and start to lift your knuckles up and forward. Just a really nice stretch through the chest and the shoulders. You can again sway a little right and left here. And then carefully bring your hands back to the floor. Good. Inhale, take your half lift. Exhale, hands down, step or jump it back, and flow. We'll meet you back in down dog. One, two, three, full breath in. And exhale, let that go. Really nice. Inhale, float your right leg high up and back. And then exhale, step that right foot all the way between your hands. Turn the back heel down, rise up, your warrior one. Feel hips and shoulders nice and square at the top of your mat. Let's interlace the fingers again behind your back here. If you can't get fingers interlaced, a hand towel can be a really helpful thing. With your inhale, puff up the chest. Now exhale, dive your body down to humble warrior. So head is going down, knuckles are lifting up. Your whole spine as round as it could be. So feel your tailbone tucking under, your chin moving towards your chest, even as the knuckles float up towards the sky. Good. On your inhale, slowly come on back up to your warrior one. And exhale, open warrior two. This time, feel your right hand. We're coming back into eagle. Sweep right elbow under your left, cross the elbows and the wrists. You want your gaze now looking forward at your thumbs in front of your face. Can you sink lower through your hips? But now start to float your elbows up off your chest. Again, be gentle with yourself, nothing to force in your shoulders. As you inhale, unravel the arms. And as you exhale, straighten the front right leg. So you have two straight legs, two straight arms. Inhale, reach your right hand forward and exhale it down for triangle pose. In triangle pose, it's much more important that you keep a nice open chest than that you get your hand all the way on your shin. So I'd rather you have your hand up on your thigh and your chest open rather than letting your chest collapse down towards the floor. Looking up towards the left fingertips if it's available. One more strong breath. Now exhale, two hands down, frame your front foot. You'll probably have to step your back foot in at least 6 or 8 inches. Here in mid pose, your chest is square to the front right foot. Hands are on the floor or on your shin, whatever most accessible. Inhale, lengthen through your heart. Now exhale, fold your torso towards your front thigh. For those who are looking for a little more challenge, right toes can flex up towards your face, or your hands can start to walk back for your left leg. On your inhale, gaze forward, rebend the right knee, plant your palms. Now use your abs and hip flexor. Step that right foot straight back to plank. Great job. Inhale, press away, and exhale, lower through your flow. Here we go, left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, step the foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back heel down, rise up, warrior one. Hands interlace behind your back. Inhale, puff up the chest. And exhale, dive your body forward to your humble warrior. Totally normal for there to be some wiggles, some shakes here. That's part of what makes us humble in the shape. Press through your heels to inhale all the way back up your warrior one. And exhale, open up to your warrior two. Decide which one is your left hand. Bring your left elbow under your right. Find your eagle arms, looking at the thumbs in front of your face. Hips are sinking low, but float your elbows off your chest. Beautiful way to open up through those shoulder blades. Inhale, unravel, arms strong. And exhale, straighten your left leg. Good. Make sure these legs are firm and engaged, that we're not just hanging out into our joints. Inhale, reach the left hand forward and down for your triangle pose. Hand can be on the floor, on the shin, on your thigh, or on a block if you've got it. Look towards the right fingers. Feel that long line of energy from crown of the head to left hip. One more full breath. And exhale, turn both hands down to the floor. Scoot your back foot in a couple inches and square your chest to that front foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And now exhale, bend your body forward. Again, options to place hand up on your shin, to flex your foot back, or even to gently bend your front knee a little if you need it. Let the head be heavy. Send your breath into the resistance. As you inhale, place two hands on the floor, re-bend the left knee. Now use your strength. Step the foot back. Inhale, press the floor away, and exhale, take it through your flow. Exhale, exhale all that air. Inhale, full breath. And let it fly. Really nice, everybody. With your next breath, float your right leg up and back. On an exhale, let's take a half pigeon. So right knee will come up to your right wrist. Your left leg stretching long back on the floor behind you. Square your hips first to the top of the mat, and then start to gently fold your body down, coming to rest on your elbows or maybe on stacked fists. You'll find that if you bring this front heel close into your body, the stretch is a little easier. If you walk the foot a little more parallel to the front edge of your mat, it will be slightly more intense. If your knees bother you here at all, come onto your back and you can take a figure 4 stretch instead. Yeah. The idea though is that you want to be in a shape where you're getting some nice stretch into your hip rotators. without putting any extra pressure on your knees. Good. As we come into this shape now, it's a transition in our practice. We're moving out of a more vigorous flow and moving into postures that will hold a little bit longer. You might find that sitting in these deeper stretches is actually much more challenging than that vigorous flowing stuff. As your mind starts to get a little noisy, come back to your inhale, your exhale. Come back to that fundamental knowledge that what you are doing right now is so good for you. Scan your body and start to notice where you just tend to hold or clench. Maybe it's the hip that you're stretching, but maybe it's your jaw or your fingertips or your shoulders. Can you also ask them to relax here? Notice the degree to which your body responds to your ask. And if there's parts that aren't letting go today, that's okay too. Wherever you are now in your breath, just exhale all the way. Inhale, fill up all the way to the top. And exhale, just sigh it out. Slowly, tenderly, carefully peel yourself away from the floor. I'll let you transition to the left side on your own. So for some of us, we might like to flow into the left side. For others, maybe you just step into down dog. For some of us, we'll just switch our legs here on the floor. However you want to get into the left side, it's yours. Just make sure if you're coming into half pigeon that you're squaring the hips to the top of your mat before you start to come into that forward fold. And very likely, left side feels a little different than the right side. Again, can you just notice the difference without having to call it good or bad, better or worse? Could you just be witness to it, like you are your breath? Once again, take that scan through your body and just make the request for some of that holding to leave you. Noticing now the spot that just feels like it's the most resistant. Let's take a breath right into that spot, feel it swell, and breathe it away. Good. You'll take your time, once again, peeling yourself away from the floor and finding your way back to down dog. Once you're in that down dog, play around with it a little bit again, like you did in the start of class. whether that's swaying your hips or nodding your head, and just taking stock. What have you changed? What has not yet changed? And what is so much a part of you that it will likely never change? Take one more breath to kiss this down dog goodbye. And we'll meet on the top of our knees for camel pose. So you want your knees about hips width and distance. Hands will come to the lower back with fingers pointing down if you can. Squeeze your elbows towards one another, our last backward bend. Inhale, puff up the chest, and exhale, let your head go back. Perfectly fine to stay there. If you wish, you can reach your hands back for your heels. Just make sure that your hips aren't sinking back in order to get your heels. You're still pressing the hips forward, lifting the heart up, breathing into it. And let's release. Walk your hands up your hips. Sit your hips down onto your heels. And take a moment in your stillness. Really normal to feel a little dizzy, mixed up, angry even after camel pose. Take that moment, that breath to settle back in. Good. Let's go ahead now and take the legs out in front of you. As we prepare for a forward fold, start yourself from a place where your spine is nice and straight. So if when your legs are out in front of you, you tend to have a slumped back, go ahead and bend the knees a little so that you can have a straighter, taller spine. On your inhale, reach both arms high. And as you exhale, dive yourself down towards your toes. You might get them today, you might not. I promise it makes no difference in your happiness whether you can touch your toes or not. Whatever shape you're in, find breath. Inhale, slowly start to roll yourself back up to sitting. And as you exhale, roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Draw your right knee into the chest. Give it a little squeeze, a bit of compression into your hip. Now draw your right leg across your body for a spinal twist. Right shoulder stays on the floor. You can look towards your right hand if the neck allows. Just feel your right knee sliding away from your right shoulder. Your right shoulder moving away from your right knee. Inhale as you come back to center, give that right knee a little squeeze. And then send it all the way down. Bring your left leg into the chest, please. Draw it up and in. And then go ahead and draw it across your body. Really make sure your left shoulder stays down on the mat here as much as you can, even if your left knee doesn't touch the floor. Inhale as you come back to center, left knee towards your chest. And bring your right knee up to meet it. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. Good. From here, I'll give you a minute to close your practice as you wish. So really naturally, if you want to go into a happy baby or roll back into a shoulder stand or plow, maybe you just gotta get some core work in. There's no right answer here. Try and pick what your body wants to do rather than what your mind thinks you should do. As you're going through this last minute listening to your body, a couple of little announcements and reminders. The first is that we're going to continue to be offering these online classes. You can check out yogaforthepeople.com and access classes. We've got 4 a day now, so that's awesome. Please, if you found this helpful in any way, consider making a donation. Your donations are really paramount at this time to making sure that there is a studio to return to when the time comes. So I thank you so much if you are able to contribute in that way today. And then lastly, I'm going to be offering a little online talk on Saturday at 7 p.m. discussing stress and the nervous system. So if you want to think about some other things and talk about some other things, join me then. Should be a good time. From here, let's start to settle into our final Savasana, please. I'm going to hold us in Savasana together for about 2 minutes, and so you'll hear me go quiet, don't worry. If you decide to stay in your Savasana a little longer than I'm talking you through it, that's fine too, but you will at some point hear me cue everyone else to sit back up. But for now, go ahead and extend your legs long on the floor. Rest your arms by your sides and close your eyes. Trust that you have done enough. Trust that you have earned this rest. I bring you words today from Henry Thoreau, a man who was no stranger to solitude. He said, "You must live in the present. Launch yourself on every wave. Find your eternity in each moment. Fools stand on their island of opportunities and look toward another land. There is no other land. There is no other life but this." Exhale your breath all the way. One more time, inhale, fill up all the way, toes to head, side to side, forward and back, and let it go. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to call yourself back to this present moment. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe gently roll your head on the floor. And then as gently, as easily as possible, you'll roll to one side. Doesn't matter, whatever feels good. As gently, as easily as possible, you'll use your hands to press yourself up to sitting. And you don't have to sit in any special way, just sit yourself in a way that feels comfortable. Spine tall if you can get it. We'll take our final breath together. You can bring your hands to your heart if you wish. Thank you so much for the opportunity to lead you through this practice. And with that, we take a deep breath in and we let it go. Such a pleasure. Thank you all. It was so good to see so many familiar faces. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.